So today is day 2 of our problem solving with fractions. And once again, we could be adding, we could be subtracting, we could be multiplying, we could be dividing, we could be doing a little bit of a couple different operations. So we're going to go through this practice set of 5 questions. Before you get started or go any further, you need to make sure that you have the record sheet that goes along with this video. So if you don't have it, hit pause, go get it. You need a pencil. And whenever you're ready, then hit play again. Okay, guys, so make sure your name's at the top of your paper, and then we're going to look at question 1. Okay, so question 1 says, Stacy has 2 1/3 yards of fabric. She buys an additional 1 1/2 yards of fabric. How many total yards of fabric does she have? Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to look for clue words. Okay, and once you figure out what the clue words are, I want you to think about, okay, what operation are we going to do? Is it adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing? Is it a little bit of this and a little bit of that? And then come up with an equation. Okay, so hit pause, write your equation, and then when you're ready, come back. Okay, guys, so this should be your equation. Okay, so you should have 2 1/3 plus 1 1/2 equals, let's go F for fabric. Okay, so what were my clues that I was going to add that? Well, here's one clue. She's going to buy an additional. So we know she has some, she's buying a little bit more. And then how many total yards of fabric does she have? So we want a total. So those were my clues. Little bit of fabric, little bit more, putting it together with the word addition. Okay, so what you're going to do now is you're going to solve this. And just a little reminder, when you're doing addition or subtraction, when you write this problem out, you're going to want to write it out vertically. Okay, so 2 1/3 plus 1 1/2, and then long equals line. So over here, you can do the steps that you need to do in order to change the denominators. Remember, you need common denominators when you add and subtract. Okay, so a little bit different with this video. We've not done this before, so listen carefully to the directions. When you're finished with this question, you're going to pause. You're going to pause the video right now. You're going to solve this on your paper. When you're finished, you're going to go to where I've shown you that the answer keys are for these questions. And you're going to find the answer key for number 1. And you're going to flip up the answer key for number 1, and you're going to compare your answer with the answer that's on the answer key. Okay? Now, if you got the answer correct, great. Then just go back to your seat and finish filling in the yes or no part of whether it was right. Okay? If you got the wrong answer, I need you to take a Post-it note from the area where the answer keys are, and I need you to write out the correct work and circle where your work is different than my work. Okay? And then you're going to stick that Post-it note right on your paper on top of number 1 so that I can see that you had that one wrong and that you've identified where your error was. And then that way, you don't need to fill in what was your error. You're actually circling it right there on your Post-it note. So solve, go to the answer key. If you're right, great, move on to number 2. If you're wrong, take a Post-it note, write out the whole thing from my paper and circle where yours and mine is different, and then head back and do number 2. Okay, guys, good luck, happy solving, and hit pause and go. Okay, guys, here's number 2. For number 2, Leo wrote 2/10 of the songs for a concert. Kim wrote 3/10 of the songs for the same concert. What fraction of the total number of songs for the concert did Leo and Kim write? Okay, so we know that there was a whole amount of songs for a concert, okay? And since we're using tenths, we know that it's 10/10, okay? So we need to figure out what's happening here with Leo and Kim's amounts, okay? So I want you to pause, write your equation, looking for those clue words, decide what you're doing, add, subtract, multiply, divide, write your equation, and then come back and check with me. Okay, guys, so here's what your equation should be. You should be solving 2/10 plus 3/10 equals, let's do S for song. Okay, what are my clues? Okay, first clue is for the same concert. So we know the concert has about 10 songs because we're talking about tenths. So of those 10, Leo wrote some, Kim wrote some for the same thing. We're not saying that she wrote some of his, it's adding the two together. Okay, and our other clue is total number of songs that they write. Okay, so same thing as last time. Remember to write this horizontally and solve. When you have your answer, go check it. If you get it right, great, move on to the next one. If you get it wrong, do the post-it note method and circle your error before you go on to number 3. Okay, get busy. Okay, we're at number 3. So I'm going to read number 3 out loud. Oh my, I see bolded right away. Multi-step, which means I have some couple things that I might have to do, anywhere between 2 or more steps in this problem. So let's read it carefully together. Jasmine is making 2 different kinds of cookies. She needs 1/4 cup of sugar for one recipe and 1/2 cup of sugar for another recipe. She has 7/8 cups of sugar in her pantry. How much sugar will she have left after making both kinds of cookies? Okay, so I want you to look for some clue words, and you need to write an equation. With this one, you can do it in one equation. If you can't, write 2, but then you should be able to do it in one. Okay, so go ahead and pause, write your equation. Okay, guys, here's what your equation should be. And there's actually 2 different equations you could use. You could write the equation 7/8 minus 1/4 plus 1/2 equals sugar, okay? Or you could have this equation, parentheses, 7/8 minus 1/4, parentheses, minus 1/2 equals sugar. Either one of those is going to do the same process, putting together the total amounts that you're adding and subtracting it from what she has, or taking what she has, subtracting the first amount of sugar for the recipe, and then the second amount of sugar for the recipe. Remember which way you need to write these when you go to solve, and you need to do both steps, okay? Sorry, clue words. So she needs 1/2 for one recipe and 1/4 for one, 1/2 for the other. And she already has 7 cups. So how much will she have left? We know that there has to be some subtraction after making both kinds of cookies. Okay, sorry about the scribbling there. Okay, so go ahead and solve and then go check it on the answer key. Hit pause and good luck. Okay, guys, we're already at question 4. Yay! Okay, so once again, I see it's a multi-step question. This one's going to look really different from any that we've ever done before. So good luck on your equation. Let's read through this. Think about what's happening. Try to visualize it. If you have to, draw a little picture to show what's happening so you can see what's getting either added or taken away or divided or multiplied. Okay, so here's what it says. Kelly spends 5 hours making pizzas. Each pizza takes her 1/4 hour to make. When she is finished, all of the pizzas are shared equally among 6 families. How many pizzas does each family receive? Okay, so I want you to hit pause, write your equation, and then come back. Actually, this one's going to take 2 equations, okay? So 2 equations to get to the end of this problem. Okay, guys, so starting at the beginning of the story, Kelly is spending 5 hours making pizza, and each pizza takes her 1/4 of an hour to make, okay? So our little clues there is that she has 5 hours, and she's breaking it down into quarter hours. So breaking it down into quarter hours means she's dividing. Your first equation is going to be 5 divided by 1/4 equals, I don't know, m, okay? So that's going to get you through the first half of the problem. Okay, now once you know how many pizzas she's made, because that's going to help you figure out how many pizzas she's made in the 5 hours. After you figure that out, you're going to have to figure out how much each of the 6 families get. So our second equation would be, because it says in here, sorry, clue words, it says in here, all of the pizzas are shared equally among 6 families. So the 6 families are sharing, so, sorry, rewind, I messed that up. Let me erase. Okay, so however many pizzas were made, so we're going to call that M, we have to divide by the 6 families. Okay, so I don't know what M is. I don't know how many she made. So when I'm writing my equation, I have to figure out the first part and then use that for the second part. So I have 2 variables in here. So my answer to this is going to help me figure out that. Okay, so you have to solve this part first and this part second. Okay, good luck. You can do this. Okay, be really, really careful. Remember, now that we're doing division, we write things horizontal. So your first part should be 5 divided by 1/4. Okay, going across. Make sure you remember to flip it. Okay, so go ahead and pause, solve it, and then check it with the answer key. Okay, last question. Oh my, another multi-step. Okay, let's read carefully here. It says Wendell has 12 cups of rice. Okay, he puts an equal amount of rice into each of 5 bowls. Wendell eats 1/3 of a bowl of rice. How many cups of rice does Wendell eat? Okay, go ahead and pause, look for clue words. You're going to need 2 equations this time again because you can't do it in just one. So 2 equations. Think about what's happening here, visualize the story, write 2 equations, and then come back whenever you're ready to check. Okay, guys, so we're going to, Wendell has 12 cups of rice. First cup, he's putting an equal amount into each of 5 bowls. So that's 12 divided into 5 bowls equals, let's go, I don't know, let's go T this time. Okay, so we have 12 cups of rice being divided into 5 bowls is going to give us an amount in each bowl. So literally, he has 12 cups. So in a big container, in a big giant bowl, he has 12 cups of rice. And he's going to divide that out into 5 bowls. So a little bit of rice here, a little bit of rice there, the whole way across. Okay, so he's going to divide it out equally. Okay, so that's going to give us our first part. How much is in each bowl when we do 12 divided by 5? Okay, now after we know that, it says that Wendell eats 1/3 of a bowl. So let's say this is the bowl. He's going to eat 1/3 of what's in there. I hear a clue word in there. You know what my clue word is? Of. He's eating 1/3 of that bowl. So that means the answer I got is going to be T. So the answer of T, however much was in that bowl, times 1/3 is the amount of rice that Wendell is eating. Okay, guys, good luck. This is your last question, so pause, solve it, go check it on the answer key. If you have any questions when you're totally done with this or any problem that you're like, I really don't know why or how you did this or how you got this answer, please come to me and ask, okay? I'm available for you to ask these questions too. Okay, good luck. You can do this and go.